Ladies and gentlemen, the beat goes on.
Turn it up.
What you're about to hear may cause your speakers to explode.
Grant's Rock Warehouse is keeping it real in the field.
Get ready in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Welcome to Grant's Rock Warehouse, and tonight I want to welcome Nick Squire and the Parish Rock back. This is an extension of the Mott the Hoople series. We're looking at the first 4 Ian Hunter albums. We want to hear from you in the chat. Can you rate these records? Let's keep it interactive. Let's do it.
Grant is trying to change the world one track at a time. Grant's Rock Warehouse is keeping it real in the field.
Holy crap, we are here. Look, wait a minute. Now I have to fix this image. Hold on. I can't see anything right. We were waiting on the Parish, and bless his soul, the Parish is here. Look at him in all of his glory. He's wearing a sweater.
And a Christmas tree.
Yeah, look at his Christmas tree.
All right.
Parish, look at my tree. Look at this.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, man.
Come on.
My tree should go in the bin there.
The Parish has a Charlie Brown Christmas tree, but it's all good.
Exactly.
Ladies and gentlemen, I do want to welcome these panelists tonight. I want to welcome Nick Esquire. I want to welcome the Parish. This is an extension of the Mott the Hoople series that we just keep going. So we're looking at the first 4 Ian Hunter albums from the 70s, and who better to have on this panel than Nick and the Parish? I do want to welcome everybody in the chat. We got like 20 people watching. I dig that. That's good. Who's all here? Look at this. BM Bolt. Look, good to see Nick is going to be on. He's a huge Ian Hunter fan. Exactly. Got Cretan here. Bob is here. Cretan's washing the dishes because he's an overachiever. Starman.
Overachiever.
Nice to see you. Looking forward to not being alone with my many fellow schizophrenics. Excellent. Who else? I don't know. We'll keep it Jay's here. My God, look at you. All right, Steven's here. I'm here. As long as there's people here, more people will show up. So I'm happy starting out with 20. Anyway. Thanks for coming. All right, so we're going to start out the Ian Hunter. I don't really have to give much of a introduction. We've already been covering Ian Hunter for 6 months.
6 months.
So if you want an intro, you can go backwards. Unless the Parish, do you have anything to? He might have something to say. But we're going to look at the 4 studio albums from 1970s. All right, go ahead.
No, I haven't got much to add at all. All I was going to say is, and I shared this with you, Grant, the other day, is my Spotify list came through as the acts I've listened to most during 2025. And I can't think why it turned out to be these, but number 1 was Slade, number 2 was Bon Jovi, number 3 was ELO, and number 4 was Mott the Hoople. And I can't think why that I would have ended up with those as being my top. I can't think of any shows I've been doing with anybody picking up those 4 bands.
I'm just glad I've been keeping you busy. Because if I keep you busy, Parish, you stay out of trouble. And That's Mrs. Exactly Parish likes that.
She certainly does.
Wait a minute. Byron, we already have a question. Byron says, does the panel prefer Mott the Hoople or Ian Hunter? Ooh.
Well, I'm probably a bit of a spoiler, really. Overall, I prefer Mott the Hoople, but if I take a single album, it's an Ian Hunter album.
Oh, interesting.
And we'll find out which one a bit later.
Well, Chris has an interest. He said the only one of the 4 I don't love is Overnight Angels, which is as much as a Roy Thomas Baker album as it is an Ian record. Well, we're going to get to that.
Mm-hmm.
Steven's weighing in. He likes, he's an Ian Hunter fan. Here we go. Jeff goes, just wondering, I watch on big screen through my Roku, but also communicate and watch on my phone. Does that count as 2 views and a thumbs up? Inquiring minds want to know. It depends upon which account you were logged into. So if there are 2 separate accounts, it would count. It would count, but if you're logged into the same account, it wouldn't. Starman says, so hard to choose. Love them both in different but similar ways. Undoubtedly, Ian took the vast majority of the Mott magic with him when he left and took it to even greater heights, gentlemen.
Yeah, and I will, because I've had a moment here to reflect, I'll probably buy a whisker vote for Mott, but Ian's discography now is, going over the decades, and there's so much stuff there, but it's like 1A and 1B, they're real close for me.
Some of the Ian Hunter is very, very, very good. It almost excels over the Mott the Hoople stuff to some degree. But right. I don't know if you can really go. We'll have to see how this goes. We're going to see what the panel says.
It's a great question.
This is a good segue. Let's go to that first album. Now, everybody in the chat, we will want to hear from you. We got 4 albums. We got an hour. We're going to zip. Well, we're not zipping through, but you know how we do it in the Warehouse. We like to limit to an hour. I do want to get everybody's opinion in the chat. We will take a rating. And let's just start going around. I'm going to go Nick and then the Parish, and then we'll go to that album. Talk to the people talk to you people, you fine people. And then we'll just keep going around. All right. Nick, Ian Hunter album. So this album came out 1975. So, and we have a lot of collaboration with Mick Ronson. This is the album that includes the hit single Once Bitten, Twice Shy, which you have to admit is freaking phenomenal. But think about it. You've got Ian Hunter and Mick Ronson together. Mick Ronson is like everyone's secret weapon. Anyway, so we're starting out that first time. I'm going to throw it over to Nick to get his thoughts. Nick, go ahead. What is your thoughts and what's your rating out of 10?
Thoughts. In revisiting this album and prepping for this show, I was struck by how upbeat it is. It is a very forward-looking album, not looking to the rear and the back like sort of I think Mott was when they went on without Ian. They were sort of looking backward, but this goes forward. Production-wise and sound-wise, it's a bit dry, it's a bit simple, but the songs are a little heavier than maybe you think they are. I've had an opportunity to hear a lot of these songs live over the years because a bunch of them have been mainstays in the Ian Hunter set, live set for 50 years. So for me, it's an essential Ian Hunter album. It's not a perfect album by any means. It's a great first step and first start after Mott. But for me, it's like, if you're going to get into Ian Hunter, this is one of the ones you've got to get. And move forward from there. I don't know if it's the first one you want to get, but I think it's great. And you hit it. Ronson is like the secret weapon here. There's great songs, but Ronson is phenomenal. And I think Ian's done his best work with Mick Ronson. Are you hearing that echo or is that me?
Oh, wait a minute.
I can hear that.
Hold on. I can fix that.
All right.
Sorry.
I can keep going.
I don't usually have it on because you can't stream in stereo. There, that should have fixed it.
There you go. No, it sounds great. Yeah. So I mean, sound wise, there's a lot of piano in this album. It's a great band. They put a great band together. Forward looking, no more B3, Oregon, that kind of stuff is gone. And I feel it's a solid first effort and it's a momentum builder for what happens. Highlights for me, of course, Once Bitten, phenomenal song. Who Do You Love? Great song. I really, it's a song that, has been in and out of his set for years, and you wouldn't necessarily get it from this recording on the live album. But one of the sleepers that I would encourage everyone to go out and find a live version of is The Truth, the Whole Truth, and Nothing But the Truth. That song is incredible live. I had a chance to see Ian right after 9/11, a month or two later. later with a phenomenal band, and that song just blew me away. Like when those guitars kick in, my head snapped back. It was like that BASF commercial, the guy sitting in the chair and everything washing behind you. It's a really heavy song. Starts as a funeral dirge, and it's very slow, but give it some time. And so a lot of these songs have been transformed live over the years. So this is obviously the origin of it with these tracks on the album, but it's fantastic. Other highlights for me would be also Fine Day, the album closer. I think it's a great way to close. It's an upbeat song. So for me, sometimes his lyrics can be somewhat melancholic, even though I think he always has a great spin on it. But this album is great. So the whole truth, not mother truth, Once Bitten, Fine Day, Who Do You Love? They're great songs. I don't find that there's really a weak song on this album. And so I want to hear what Parish has to say.
Yeah, Parish, what you got? Well, what would you rate this out of 10? Or we can come back around.
8.
You give this an 8.
Yeah.
All right, we got an 8. I was going to say, anybody in the chat that wants to weigh in, I'll take your ratings out of 10 if you know this record, but only if you know this record, because we're trying to turn everybody else onto it and we want to be honest. So, Parish, what's your thoughts on this one?
I kind of agree and disagree. So where I agree, I think it's a great album. I mean, what an album to kick off a long solo career with. He was certainly saving up his best songs, I think, for going solo. And Mick Ronson is absolutely killer on it. And often I always think of Mick Ronson more in the context of Ian Hunter than I do of David Bowie, actually. So I think they go together really well. The bit I disagree with is the Not Looking Back. I think this is a pretty glam rock album for 1975, and I think there's quite a few songs on it that could have been Mott the Hoople songs. They sound quite Mott the Hoople. So and both those comments, no surprise, is not a problem for me. I love me glam rock and I love me Mott the Hoople, so I have no problem at all with the fact that I think this is a good crossover from Mott to the Ian Hunter solo stuff. I mean, Once Bitten, Twice Shy, you both already said it, but what a great song to kick off your solo career with. You can almost say it was all downhill from there, other than the fact he wrote some really good songs afterwards. But yeah, such a brilliant song, number 14 in the UK, a hit in the States, obviously covered by Great White and others latterly. And then my favourite song in the album is Who Do You Love? I think that's a great sort of glam rock classic. The Choir Boys, or the London Choir Boys as they're known, would have absolutely killed for a song like this, with the piano and the harmonies, etc. Interestingly, covered by Def Leppard as a B-side, and they glam it up even more.
Oh, wow.
But actually, there's a great version by the Pointer Sisters, and it's certainly worth going out and finding that and having listened to that.
Wow.
Not what you might think by the Pointer Sisters. They do quite a rocking version, and it's really cool. I like Lounge Lizard as well. That's got a great riff. That sounds pretty Mott the Hoople to me, and I like the heavy chorus. I think we spoke about this before with Mott the Hoople, but boy, reminds me of the Boomtown Rats around the kind of Fine Art of Surfacing era, Diamond Smiles kind of song, and particularly with the vocals, but maybe a bit the drumming, the march drumming kind of ties in with that as well. 3,000 Miles, I think, is a great song. Totally agree with you, Nick, about The Truth, the Whole Truth, Nothing But the Truth. Really heavy, slow and plodding, but a really heavy guitar, and then just builds and builds. Probably the heaviest song on the album. And then another great song I really like is I Get So Excited. Another really good rocker, almost Kiss-like, I think. In it.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Again, I love the bit in the middle where you just got to stop the drumming and the vocal bit, which is a bit unusual. So, yeah, great song. So that's it, really. I'm not going to go through every track because we haven't got long enough to cover 4 albums. But yeah, definitely, if you haven't got it, go out and get it. If you've never heard it, still go out and get it and then listen to it. Don't bother with Spotify. Great album. And as I say, what a great album to kick off a solo career with.
Well, what would you give it out of 10?
I'm probably with Nick. I'll give it an 8 as well. Yep.
God. All right. Good. All right. Cool. We've got everybody scored. My thoughts on this record is I absolutely love this record. I think I totally agree with Nick. I think he was saving songs up. Once Bitten, Twice Shy is a classic. Who Do You Love is absolutely stunning. For one, look at all the, like you mentioned, the Pointer Sisters. Joe Elliott covered it. People like this track. Lounge Lizard. It's got that glammy kind of thing. It's a lot of swagger. I like it. Boy. Now, I was reading that this was aimed at David Bowie, like kind of a. Do you know anything about that? Anybody here?
No.
Like
That
it
makes
was
sense.
interpreted
Well,
as.
like a foot down.
Yeah. Do you think? I guess you could interpret it that way.
Yeah, you certainly could. Yeah.
But I like it. 3,000 Miles, a great ballad. Joe Elliott also covered this. Joe Elliott loves this record. If you're a Def Leppard fan, for God's sakes, you need to get this. What would I give it? I think you boys pretty much covered it 100%, but I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10. So far, I am in. For some reason, this is just totally, I've just synced up to it. I love it. I could go on and on.
Someone mentioned already, but that cover is fantastic.
Cover's fantastic. DC, you're the artist here. Is that cover fantastic? John the Music Nut coming in with 8.5.
Hey, drumming on this album by Dennis Elliott of Foreigner.
Foreigner. You know
Later.
what? I think he was in a band called If, which was kind of like a prog band. If you look them up, because doing research, I said, oh my God, it is Dennis Elliott playing drums. And I'm going, let's look Dennis Elliott. God damn, I can't talk.
Yeah, him too.
Dennis Elliott up. And he has been in a lot of different records. He's played on tons of stuff.
Yeah.
Never heard that, but I kind of doubt it. He's always been extremely gracious towards David and seemed to consider him a great friend, if not simply a major benefactor. Who knows? Maybe Mick Ronson had a beef, since this is Mick's records too. Oh, I'm sorry, DC. He said I was the one who originally said that's a great illustration. All right, cool. Well, let's tally this up. I've got everybody's numbers. We're coming in with that's pretty damn. An 8.6. All right. Excellent, people. All right, let's keep going. We'll go on the next record. We're going to look at All American Boy 1976, the sophomore album. A little bit more of a conceptual approach on this record. You got Jocko on here. David Sanborn's playing on this record.
Yeah.
Let me change the graphic because I've been lacking doing that lately. Here we go. Irene Wild's on here. You Nearly Did Me, featuring Queen's backing vocals. There's a lot of cool stuff on here. But anyway, let's sort over to Nick. Nick, what's your thoughts on All American Alien Boy?
Well, you mentioned the band. This is a more mature sound on this album. And besides Jocko playing most of the bass on the album, David Sanborn sprinkling sax, drums, Ainsley Dunbar. Holy mackerel, is he a monster?
Oh, so he's a monster.
Yeah, he's a monster on everything he does. So Ainsley on drums is great, and Cornell Dupree on guitar on a few tracks. So really a great band that he assembled. I find this a more mature sound. As Ian went along, I remember describing it once to maybe Martin Popoff or something. It's almost like a New York sound. There's like a New York sound that I kind of know when I hear it. And, people like Billy Joel and Meatloaf and Warren Zevon, I find this sort of treading in those waters. But I find this album, it's a mixed bag for me. It's a little short. There's 8 tracks on it. I find the first side much more enjoyable than the second side. The highlight of this album, and the reason why you want to hear it, and of course there's a billion and one live versions, but Irene Wild is a top 10 Ian Hunter song. It's one of the best things he's ever written. It's autobiographical. It is just a wonderful, wonderful song. I marvel at how he dug deep for that. But being a preteen and seeing the older girl at the bus stop and wishing he was older and the whole thing. And I know I heard that it wasn't too long ago, maybe 10 years ago, they tracked her down. So Irene Wilde was a person that tracked her down. I mean, she must have been about 105 because she was older than Ian, and Ian's up there, man. So I know they tracked her down. But what a great tune! If someone writes a song about you, it might as well be Irene Wilde. But he does these. I've said it before with Mott, and he does it in his solo career. He could take these melancholic themes and make them like uplifting. It's a real rare talent. So you get almost like it's a very melancholic, almost sad kind of vibe of what he's trying to get across. But to me, it always uplifts me. So I love it. So for the album alone, that's sort of the highlight. All American Alien Boy, great track. Love that song. There's a Jocko bass solo in it, which is Jocko bass solo. So he fits on the album. I don't know if it's like the best choice, but this album will always be a curio because of Jocko, always. So and the band that was assembled. So I know I read some things out there. They're describing tracks as jazzy. This is not jazz. So if you ever read that out there, this is not a jazz record by any stretch.
No, I didn't pick that up either.
I saw that on some online nonsense. It's like so silly. But another highlight for me would have been probably "You Nearly Did Me In." Great song, and the best song for that second side. I find that the second side is a bit of a drop off from the first side. I'll rate this album. I don't find this album to be essential, even though Irene Wilde is such a good song. There's also live versions of it, but it's a good listen, and I rate it a 7.5, which for me is you need to hear it, and you should probably own it. So,
all right. And the way Nick rates this stuff, he means it, damn it. Anyway, all right, yeah, but this is the record. I probably should have said something about it, but this is when Ian moved from Britain to the USA, and this record was just cranked out really fast. So I guess you can kind of tell that, but still a 7.5. Yeah, I'm in. And by the way, if anybody's heard this record, please go ahead and give me your scores. We're going to turn it over to Parish. Parish, what's your thoughts on All American Alien Boy?
Well, I mean, the title apparently is a response to the Derringer album All American Boy. So it was a reflection of the fact that he was a Brit in America, hence the All American Alien Boy bit. Now I have to say I like rock and roll Ian Hunter a lot more than I like singer-songwriter Ian Hunter, and I think this album generally is singer-songwriter Ian Hunter. DC made the comment earlier about the Bob Dylan-esque vocals at times, and I think there's a bit of that on here. I think there's a lot of sax, and I don't mind sax in rock songs, but I do think the sax dominates on the album. There's no Mick Ronson, and I think that shows. I think there's definitely a drop off in quality in my view from the last album to this one, and it is my least favourite of the 4 albums that we're reviewing today. But having said that, the album does have its moments. I think the title track's really good. That has a good glam rock feel to it. I think his vocals are excellent on it. It's the side of Ian's vocals I like, as opposed to the Dylan-esque vocals where he's a bit more like a Bowie or a Lou Reed. Maybe the Lou Reed is a bit of that New York connection, I think. But there's definitely a bit of the Lou Reed sound to him. Irene Wilde is actually my favourite Ian Hunter song, so that's got to elevate the album up. I think it's a brilliant song. As you said, it's biographical. And as an aside, the Struts did a version of it on their last album, and they do a pretty good version of it as well. And Luke Spiller of the Struts says it's one of his favourite songs of all time. That's why they covered it. So, is it as good as the original? Probably not, but it's a decent cover. I also like Restless Youth. I think that's a good up-tempo rocker. It's a bit punky. We are now in 76, as we've said before. They're kind of proto-punk in some ways, or what the Hoople was, and I think Ian Hunter is with that song. I think it's really good. And the other one I really like is You Really Did Me In, with the Queen backing vocals, All Help It Feel, but that's a great song. So I think there's there's 8 tracks on the album, and I think half of it's really good, and the other half I could do without, really. So on that basis, I would probably give it a 5 out of 10, but because of Irene Wild being so good, I think that elevates it up to a 7 out of 10.
All right.
Now that song alone would make it a 10 out of 10, but you've got to kind of blend it with the others, I think. So yeah, 7 out of 10 for this one.
All right, I'm good with that. Anybody hasn't weighed in on this in the chat? I've got your scores so far. Just go ahead and give them to me if you know this record. If you don't know it, no big deal. My thoughts on this record. I'm kind of with you, Parish. I think without Mick Ronson, I think we've had a drop in quality. Though there are some great stuff here. Irene Wild is phenomenal. But like, I'm kind of with you, like half of the record. I'm also agreeing with you, Parish, because I don't particularly like singer-songwriter. Well, it's fine. Nothing that Ian Hunter has done has been a bad record. I don't think he's capable of producing a bad album. I guess it just depends on what type of Ian Hunter you like. And I like the rock and roll Ian Hunter as opposed to singer-songwriter Ian Hunter. But still, the songwriting is good on here. Irene Wild's great. All American Boy's funny. The sax is cool. Do I really hear any jazz on it? Not really. But no. I just think that the backing band is just kind of, to have Jocko playing on it and David Sanborn. Maybe Ian Hunter got over to the States and just embraced it all. I don't know. I think it kind of works, but it kind of doesn't. Definitely like the debut album better. What would I give this? I think I would be happy giving this a 7 because it is a bit of a step down for me. Other than that, but it's still 7's great. Nothing wrong with 7. So did everybody weigh in on this? We can go ahead. Did I get Bob's score? I don't think I got Jeff or Bob. Okay. 7. Yeah. Let me get your 8s. All right. We're ready. All right. What do we have here? Now, don't forget that the debut album, we had a 8 point. Oh, we got a 7.5 coming in. All right. All right. Thanks, Stephen. I got it. All right. The debut album, we gave it an 8.6. This record, we are going to go with a 7.9. So we have a little bit of a step down, but still, there's nothing wrong with a 7.9. All right, cool. We're going to keep this dog moving. Our next record we're going to take a look at is Overnight Angels from 1977. So this is the third solo album. I think this leans a little bit more into the glam rock thing. A lot of hooks on this record. Ooh, look at that album cover. Looks like a
inner sleeve.
I know, but a flying skull, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, we've got standout. We're going back to the rockers on this record. You know, and I can tell the Parish is just all worked up and giddy because we are doing that. But we've got England Rocks, which is the reworked, the original version of Cleveland Rocks. That's cool. Back in the day, though, this kind of got a mixed review. Maybe this record is aged better. We're going to throw it out to the panel and see what they think. Again, everybody, if you've known this record, well, after Nick goes, you can give me some scores. Nick, what's your thoughts on this record and your rating out of 10?
Just a little background. For me, this is like the redheaded stepchild of the 1970s Ian Hunter albums. I never used to see this out in the wild. It's a rare thing to find, although I did see it this past Saturday. And of all the Ian Hunter albums, it's the one I sort of got like within the last 10 to 15 years. So I went out and found all the other ones and listened and enjoyed them. And this is sort of on the tail end. And maybe it's because none of the songs on this album have I ever seen in the live set with Ian. So maybe he played them early on, but I can tell you in the last 20, 30 years, he has not been playing any of these songs. So for that alone, I sort of came to it last and ignored it. it's also the last for the label, so maybe that tells us, because I've never seen this on CD at all. It's only been on vinyl. So for me,
I'm not even sure. You know, Nick, I was looking at Discogs,
okay,
and of course, I know Rock Candy reissued it.
yeah,
I only could find that this was released in the UK. There was a promo that someone listed in Discogs. It was a promo on Columbia or whatever in the States, but I could not find quote unquote a US release other than maybe a test press.
Apparently, Columbia wouldn't release it in the US because the Tax's manager didn't have a tour to promote it. And they said they would only release it when he had a manager and a tour lined up. And then when it didn't do very well in the UK, they just didn't bother releasing it anyway. So I think you're right, unless it was released later, you know, maybe in CD or something. I don't know, but it certainly wasn't released in the States originally.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't see it. All right, with Chris's gave us a 6 out of 10. We're going to give Alien a 7.75. That's updated it. So, all right. Yeah, Rock Candy put it out. I haven't heard that version, but you know, it's been released. It's been pressed on CD for different countries, but here, neglected.
Right. It's funny when Parish was talking about the first album and thinking it's Mott sounding. I find this album now coming to it the most Mott sounding Ian Hunter album, at least in these 70s albums. To me, from the song structure to the vibe to the melodies, I find it very Mott like. He assembled a pretty rockin' band. Earl Slick on guitar, doesn't get better than that. So
Earl
it's
Slick,
pretty cool album, and it's a different sound. And I know that you were mentioning that Baker's the producer, so it's a different kind of sound for him. It's kind of a heavier brass sound. The first song, Golden Opportunity, which I like, when I'm hearing the intro, there's all this piano. I'm like, holy Jim Steinman, holy crap. It was like something he wrote. And it was like Steinman. It was like an intro and then another intro, like intro after the intro. And then it got into the song, which was almost like a rockin' heavy 4 on the floor, heavy bottom end song. And it was sort of, to me, it ends up being almost like a shambolic Mott tune. So I really like it. Another tune I like, the Overnight Angels, great title track, chugging guitar. There's these great choruses, big choruses on this album, and in this song, the payoff is the chorus, which I like. So I kind of like that one. And the album highlight for me is a song that I wish he actually played live. I've never heard it on any live recording of him, but it was the Miss Silver Dime. I think it's just a highlight. Great chorus. Great guitar and piano in the chorus. I hear even some dobro in there or something, but it's sort of a forgotten track, and I think it's a track that it would translate well to the live setting. So Wild and Free is a rocker. I like that one. That would be a great song to hear live. So there's a lot of things on here. I think there's a couple missteps. I wasn't really into the Battle of Little Star. It seemed a little bit on the nose, talking about what sounds like a woman, indigenous woman who's a hooker. I'm like, I don't know. It was a little too on the nose for me, but England Rocks, and that's the OG, of course, being Cleveland Rocks, but this is a great version of that song. So one quirky song, Justice of the Peace, is so odd and so quirky, but if you listen to it 3 or 4 times, it will get in your brain, and you'll be singing along with it, but it's a very strange song. Almost remind me of something not heavy, but something like The Darkness would do. Some just very odd kind of vocal approach to it and melody and everything. But I like the album. It's imperfect. I will rate it a 7.5. I'm interested in hearing more of it again because I kind of rediscovered this album, and it's sort of the 70s albums, it's the one I know the least, mainly because these songs have never made it to the live set, at least in the last 30 years that I know of. So, but I think there's some value here, and there's some misses too on it, but there's nothing hideous on this album. So,
no, none of them are, there's no bad albums.
The closest song that's a bit of a misstep is To Love a Woman. It sounds like a Love Boat guitar, lounge guitar with strings, and then the chorus is like the Fifth Dimension. So that was a bit of a misstep. But all the bands of the 70s are doing stuff like that. If you ever want to hear something as bad as that, feel free to listen to the Small Faces on their Playmates album. You'll hear plenty of that. But so that song was a bit of a miss, but it wasn't hideous. Let's put it that way.
Well, all right. Again, I'm sorry, Nick. What was your score again?
7.5.
7.5. All right. So everybody in the chat, I've got everyone's score so far. So if you got more, I'm up on it. I feel like I'm juggling a bit. All right, Parish, what you got? What's your thoughts on this record?
Well, as I said earlier, I like Ian Hunter, the rock and roller. This plays into that very much. So yeah, I think I really like this album. I actually think it's kind of a bit hair metal 10 years before hair metal in some ways. There's quite a few songs on this that I can imagine the bluesy aspects of hair metal bands covering. If you think of some, well, obviously Great White, but they did a different song. But somebody like a Cinderella on their later albums when they went pretty bluesy, I can imagine them doing one of these songs.
Yeah.
So I think there is a lot of glam on it, but there's also an element to that kind of early 70s Rolling Stones kind of feel to it as well, I think, that he's tying into. But interestingly, and I'll come on to the songs, but there's also aspects of new wave on it as well, with some of the sounds, with some of the vocals, etc. So it is a bit of a mixed bag in the styles. I think Roy Thomas Baker does a good production on it. It probably does make it sound a little less like Ian Hunter's other stuff, but I think it suits the album. So it kicks off, as Nick said, Golden Opportunity. I think that's a great rocker. I love the song. I think it's really good. I love all the different build-ups before you get to the actual singing. But I actually think Shallow Crystals is even better, the second song. I really like that. Element of punk rock in there. I guess it is 77. But it's almost like a punk rock opera, or a punk rock opera. Yes. In the way it builds and the way they do it. Starts slow and then builds. Overnight Angels is, I think, the best song on the album. Again, glam rock, but with an element of punk in there as well, giving it a bit of an edge. But loads of sound effects, which are a bit random in there, that I actually think are quite good. Adds to the song. His vocals are a bit deeper on the song as well. I wasn't sure at first, the first time I heard it, whether it was actually in Ian Hunter or somebody else singing, but it is Ian Hunter on it. His vocals are a bit different. But as I say, best song on the album, I think. Justice of the Peace, I think that's pretty new wavy. It's got quirky vocals. You said The Darkness, I think, Nick. I wrote down Sparks. So similar kind of thing, you know, sort of a bit different, but a good song and very catchy. Miss Silver Dime is really good and co-written with El Slick. That's kind of got that early synth rock Rolling Stones in there. Wild and Free is a great fast-paced rocker, and I'm really surprised, partly because of the song title, it was never covered in the 80s by one of the bands, hair metal bands. Yeah, To Love a Woman, you mentioned the Small Faces. I think it sounds like Rod Stewart. So
yeah, it sounds like Night in the Town era Rod.
Yeah. You could definitely, I mean, his vocal on it sounds quite Rod Stewart, but you could definitely hear Rod Stewart singing it.
100%.
I mean, I haven't got the album vinyls anymore. They were, unfortunately, my Ian Hunter vinyl was destroyed when I had the flood, and half my record collection disappeared overnight when the roof came off in a storm. Roof came off in the garage.
I don't want to laugh, but that's terrible.
That's awful.
Yeah.
That's awful.
I lost half the collection, and unfortunately, Ian Hunter is part of it. So I'm quite envious of all your vinyl there, Nick. But likewise, England Rocks wasn't on the vinyl.
Yeah, it was a bonus track on the Rock Candy CD.
Right.
Yeah, and I
have heard
it should have been on there though.
I hadn't got it on the album. Sorry, Nick, what were you going to say?
No, and you're right. I should have mentioned that. I knew it was a bonus track, and I was listening to it on the streaming, but it wasn't on there. But you're right.
It should have been. It would have made a stronger album had it been on there.
Absolutely.
And if you think about it, why was England Rocks? Why wasn't a B-side? It's phenomenal.
He was saving it to the next album.
Well, I guess, but he renamed it Cleveland Rocks.
Yeah, well, that's because he was trying to get a foothold in America, wasn't
And it did get him a bit more of a notoriety, because I really can't remember any of these records really getting any airplay back in the day other than Cleveland Rocks, to be quite honest. And that didn't get that much airplay. Drew Carey's show in the States, when that came on, he used that as a theme song for his show. So I think that really gave it a big push,
It did.
Goldie, so that it's on the Music on CD version too. Yeah, I don't know who mastered the Rock Candy one, but the Music on CD one probably sounds better. The Music on CDs that I've bought, like the Jafria, sound pretty darn good. I've been very happy with all the ones that I've gotten, so I'd probably get that. Anyway, sorry, Parish, we went on a tangent.
I'd give this an 8 out of 10.
What would you get, 8 out of 10?
8 out of 10, yeah.
All right.
Along with the kind of up there with the debut. So
Yeah, I kind of like this record. Well, I don't know if I should count. Should I count the bonus tracks? I guess I should not. I should look at this in its original form and not consider England Rocks on it, even though that would have made a big difference. What's my thoughts on here? I mean, if you had England Rocks on here, it would really make a standout track. You do have a lot of punk energy on here. I guess, is it new wave? Possibly, but I think it's probably more punk since we're in 77. I think, of course, the songwriting's good here, and I think it's almost this punk record. If I want to be honest about it, how do I look at this record? My God. Golden Opportunity, I think it's a great opener. You kind of got that pub rock piano thing going through it. It's energetic. Shallow Crystals, kind of, I don't know. It's okay. I will mention this, Earl Slick's guitar on here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'll take, if I don't have Mick Ronson, I'll be happy. I'll be happy to take Earl Slick.
Yeah, really.
I like it. And I do like, I believe that, did you say, Parish, you didn't like the ballad of Little Star so much?
That was me. I thought
that was you, Nick.
I thought lyrically it was a little, I don't know.
I think I thought it one of the best tracks on the record. I mean, it's a ballad.
No, yeah, exactly. Just, I don't know.
It's all right. I like it. What would I rate this record? Honestly, I don't find it that really any worse or any better than All American Alien Boy. I think I'm going to just give this a 7. I still love that debut. There's something about that debut from Ian Hunter album that I like. I don't find this is worse or better than the previous record. So I'm going to go with a 7. Did everybody weigh in on this? I guess I'm looking over. Marlon's going over 45 and you're still going. Well, we're almost done. We have 4 albums to do, Marlon. Calm down.
While you're adding it up, I noticed on the credits, I missed this, that Dennis Elliott plays drums again on this album, although he's not in the band. But he plays drums, and there's on that Wild and Free track. God damn, he sounds like Cozy Powell, fucking bashing it out.
Dennis Elliott. I mean, if you think about it,
he's a great drummer.
Great drummer, but when he's playing in Foreigner, let's think about it. Foreigner's pretty much meat and potatoes. There's no virtuosity. Yeah. The only virtuosity that is in Foreigner is when Mick Jones plays a guitar part. And I will say this on a tangent level. I love Mick Jones as a guitar player. I love his tone. And his licks are always really good. All right. tangent. See, we've got Webb coming in with a 7. All right, let's add this up and we'll go on to our next record. So, in a brief review, Marlon, our first album, we gave it an 8.5. The second album, we got a 7.75. And for Overnight Angels, we are coming in with a 7.1.
All right.
I mean, it's not as favorable as what came before, but, hey, it's all right. All right. Cool. I do want to thank everybody in the chat for chiming in because we do want to keep this interactive. Let's go. We have a bit of a break. We come back in 1979, and we also have a new record label. So You're Never Alone with the Schizophrenic, 1979. I'm going to throw it over to the Parish of Rock and get his thoughts on this record. I do have the vinyl of this. I think this was probably his biggest seller. It's exactly that. I mean, what did I say? The Parish? Nick.
Let him go. Let Parish go first.
Parish,
Let him go.
Go ahead. You can go.
Okay. Well, I said earlier that an Ian Hunter album was my favorite album of the whole of his.
No, I said that. Wait a minute. I said Dennis Elliott is great. He played in that. I mentioned that before, the rock prog band If. But in Foreigner, sorry, Parish, but in Foreigner, he doesn't have to dazzle. It's meat and potatoes, rock and roll. So I'm just saying. All right, sorry, Parish, go ahead.
No, I was saying, I said earlier about one of his solo albums was my favorite of the whole of his blog with solo rock, and that album is this one. I love this album.
I love it. Yeah.
I remember seeing it in the record store and seeing that album cover and just thinking that was so funny because you never saw him without his sunglasses. And now we know why. So
it's got holes in his head.
I love the album title, You're Never Alone with the Schizophrenic. That made me laugh as well at the time. So, I mean, I was an Ian Hunter fan, but I saw that album and bought it. And I've loved it ever since. I think it's a great album. And look at who's on it. You've got Mick Ronson back as producer, but he also plays on at least one track. You've got, I mean, it's funny you mentioned Meatloaf or Jim Steinman connection earlier, Nick, because you've got on this album, you've got Elan Foley on it, obviously from Meatloaf, and then you've got Eric Bloom from Blue Oyster Cult plays on it, and then you've got 3 people from the E Street Band on keyboards, drums, and bass. So he's certainly assembled a good range of musicians on it. Not all playing on the same song, but yeah, great range of musicians on the album. And it's another rocker as an album, I think. So it continues that rock and roll Ian Hunter as opposed to the singer-songwriter one. Some of the highlights on the album for me, Opener, Just Another Night. Co-written with Mick Ronson. I think it's a great fun song and kicks it off. I could go through every song, but I'm just going to go through highlights. Cleveland Rock
you're good.
Is very cleverly, he had England Rocks to try to sell it in the UK, and when that failed, he just rebadged it and stuck it on an album for the States as Cleveland Rock, but it's a great song. Ship, I'm not normally a ballads guy, but I like Ship. I think it's a good ballad, and it was certainly a hit in the UK for Barry Manilow. I don't know if it was a hit in the States, but
yes,
did well over here. So I think he does quite well with people covering his songs. I'm sure that's how he's made some of his money. When the daylight comes, you got Mick Ronson on guitar. It's a bit funky. I like that. It reminds me actually of early 90s John Mellencamp. John Mellencamp sort of moved into a similar sound in the early 90s, which so that was quite interesting. That comparison. Life After Death is quite a fun song, sort of old school rock and roll, with that honky tonk piano on it. Really like that. Bastard is again another funky guitar. Love the chorus. You can imagine back in '79, we only had one record player in the house. We weren't allowed a record player in the bedroom. I was 14, and you can imagine my mum's face when I played this song on our record player in the front room. The song "Bastard" with the chorus, "You're a bastard." She wasn't impressed. But I'm a bit surprised he didn't release it as a single, because it would have been banned. And as we all know, in the UK in '79, if you got a song banned, it was bound to go straight to #1. So I'm a bit surprised it wasn't released as a single. And then it finishes on a great song, "The Outsider." It's a bit of a slow burner, but the guitar on it's great, and I think it's a great way to close the album. So love this album. I can't give it anything other than a 10 out of 10, I think.
10. There you go, Marlon. That'll make your day. All right, people, if you still know this record, in the chat, give me your scores. I already got your scores already. So far, we're looking good. We've got a 10. I'm going to throw over to Nick. Nick, what's your thoughts on this and your rating out of 10?
And I'll have some show and tell as we go along. But I think that this album is a masterpiece. I think this is his masterpiece. And it is a 10 out of 10. If you're going to start listen to Ian Hunter, this is the place to start. This is what you should buy. This is the one. This should appeal to any type of rock and roll fan, whether you're like a hard rock, metal guy, southern rock, whatever. This straight ahead stuff, this is the one. Parish said it, Ronson's on here, and good songs. That's why it's great. You've got, he doesn't do any Dylan stuff in here. It's all about really catchy songs that are 3 or 4 minutes long, which I like. So it covers all those bases. I first heard this in the late 80s in college, and I could have sworn I heard like all these songs before. The melodies are so in the ether catchy. That's why that's what makes a good album. It's like, did I really hear this before? So my feeling on it is how could Chrysalis have fucked this one up though too? It's sold, but this should have been multi millions. And his tenure at Chrysalis was kind of short, but this album should have been really big for its time. I mean, it really fit in well with what was out in the marketplace. Some of the highlights, Parish mentioned Just Another Night, which is autobiographical. Great song. I love Wild East. I love Cleveland Rocks. I like Ships. It was a hit in the States for Barry Manilow. Intensely personal song. It's like, I don't know how this song you can hear it and not feel something. I mean, unless you're a sociopath. But When the Daylight Comes, I really like this. To me, it's one of the highlights of the album. And I kind of like the vocal with Ronson, which I think is great. And the melody is so catchy, so catchy. It's so upbeat. It's one of those songs where I could probably listen to this every day and I wouldn't get tired of it. I love Life After Death. There's a part in that song where it's like a 50s driving piano, Jerry Lee, Wizard, ELO. Love that song. So there's a layer of new wave in there. So I kind of like that one too. Standing in My Light. I love that one too. It's slow. Another classic. It's another one where, he's lived these lyrics. And, when you write a great song, sometimes you start in the church and it's sort of got that gospel thing about it, which I know people like Elton John like to start writing songs from that point of view, from the church. So it's a great tune, but that is another classic. There's not one bad song on this album, by the way. They're great. Bastard is a song that reminds me of, it could have been, and Parish especially, it could have been a single, but it's kind of like got a dance edge to it. It's hypnotic, it's repetitive, there's big guitars, it's sort of maybe new wave-ish as well. And Outsider, as I was talking to Grant before we went on the air, you can't talk about Outsider without talking about this oddity, which is called The Secret Sessions, released in '99 by Corky Lang. I somehow lost all you guys, but Corky Lang.
No, I made you big.
Oh, excuse me. Oh, wow. Thank you.
Show everybody the cover again. There you go.
Yeah, there's Secret Sessions, and there's the back cover. There's Ronson's on it. Corky. Ian is right here. Secret Sessions was a collective of musicians who got together in 1978, and it featured Corky Lang, Ian Hunter, Felix Pappalardi, Mick Ronson. Other people who played on the tracks on the album would be Leslie West, John Sebastian, Todd Rundgren, Eric Clapton, Dickie Betts. What a murderer's row of people on here.
It was sat on the shelf for years and years, never released. Corky got it out there in '99. No one has heard it. Outsider was the song Outsider, which was sung by Corky on on these tracks. They kind of put together some video with it. So if you got the CD, there's a CD track with the video on it. So, but so this sort of was the precursor to the Ian version, which came out a year later. But this is sort of an oddity. It's pretty cool. Some other Ian work on here, not too much, but it's a great listen. And I like that song. I like it as a closer, and it reminds me of, because it's funny that Felix and Corky and Leslie connection. It reminds me of like a son of theme from an imaginary Western. So I thought it was kind of cool. But there's not a bad track on here, and if you want to hear just a Stone Cold classic, this is the album for you.
Yep. So we got another 10 from Nick. I totally agree with everything the panel said. This is the best so far, though I like that debut. That is the date. Oh, look at that. All right. The debut, this just came in. Just saying. I just got that shindig. Oh, my. All right, cool. The mail just flies in here in the warehouse. Because when you're in the warehouse, things just fly in. Anyway, so I agree with everything that everyone has said. I think this is the best album. The sequencing's good. I like the production on this record. It's got Cleveland Rocks, which of course is phenomenal. Just Another Night got up to 68 on Billboard. How did this not fare better?
I know.
And what a way to open up the record. Phenomenal. Written by Hunter and Ronson. See, we've got that tag team. There is something magical about Mick Ronson and Ian Hunter collaborating. I do want to mention they did do that album together, that Ian Hunter Mick Ronson album. We probably should look at that.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
But I think that's where the magic is. Wild East, you've got kind of like, it's kind of glammy. It's got saxophone, doo-wop. It's kind of dense sounding. Cleveland Rocks, of course. Gee, many Christmas. I love it. Ships. I think this is a beautiful track. The chorus is celestial. I guess Barry Manilow. I can't remember. I'd have to... This is Barry Manilow did do a version of this, didn't he?
It was a hit.
It was a hit.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, Ian could have had a hit with it. And like you said, The Outsider, I think, is a great track to end the whole album with. Bastard, you've got John Cale on it, and you've got that Mick Ronson guitar part. Absolutely top notch. This is the best of the lot. I am going to give this a 10 as well. How could I not? I think it's a great record. Did everybody already weigh in on your rating? If you haven't weighed in on your rating, go ahead and give it to me now. So first album got an 8.5, and there's nothing shabby about that. The second album, 7.75. Third album's got a 7.1, and our fourth album, I think we're ready. I'm just going to do it. Fourth album, we come with that. Oh my, we got a 10.5.
10.5.
How did we get a 10.5? What did I do?
We'll just stick with that. I'm happy with 10.5.
Yeah, I must have. I can't see it. I must have put a.
It's Grant math. Holy mackerel!
Yeah, you don't want me doing. Oh, I put a 25 in here. That might be the problem.
I'll just leave it.
I'm just gonna leave it. I think this is a 10. We know that this is the best record. Well, it depends on how you put your numbers in, kids. I know everything else was accurate. I like it. The deluxe version of this album is on Spotify. Second CD is live stuff. Anybody here have that?
I don't have it. I just know it from streaming, but it's very good. It's worth the listen.
All right, cool. Bob, I am a math whiz.
Math whiz.
He's just fixing the numbers to suit what he likes.
Garbage. Yep, just checked it out.
in this case, I have no problem with you fixing the number.
I don't remember I'm assuming this was the deluxe version. I don't recall seeing it. It's not like you see any of this stuff.
No,
you know?
no.
Things come out. If I don't see that it's being promoted or an ad for it.
Someone mentioned though too. What happens a lot is Chrysalis or whoever owns Chrysalis packages a lot of the Chrysalis material together. So you see a lot of that out there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just 3-year span. So this one, with rarities and other things, not so much. But the box setty stuff I've seen a lot of, and have it somewhere.
9 and 8.25. That's what it is. I'm going to fix it. I found my error.
No, 10.5.
Okay, I fixed it. It was Web came in with an 8.25 and I put it in incorrectly. We do have it. The actual number is a 9.24.
That's high.
That's still high. It's a great record.
Yeah.
And that's what we're about here. When did it come out, like 2009? God, I guess I'm out of date. I had no idea it even came out. I like Hunter's guitar. I like Hunter's H guitar. He played it with Mott. I think he showed that off. He did like a video not too long ago, and I think he still has that thing.
I saw that guitar at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Oh,
long time ago, 20 years ago.
I haven't been to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame since my son was, probably 10. So it's been a while, 20 years maybe.
I was there in 03.
I went there to see the Beatle guitars. I don't know if they're still there, but cool. I did see that and got on my hands and knees and, worshiped them.
Mm-hmm.
How is Ian and or Mott still not inducted? I don't know. It's political because they didn't sell any records. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame likes you if you sell records, and they didn't ever sell any records.
Mm-hmm.
Critical faves, but that's it.
Right.
All right, kid, we've went an hour. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. We have a victor. 8.24, 8.5. Yep. You're never alone with the schizophrenic. It wins. I do want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. It has been fun. Anybody who's looking into getting into Ian Hunter, this is where you should start. So this would be the record I would get into, and then the debut. Gentlemen, anything else you need to mention before we wrap this dog up?
No, this was fun. Any Ian Hunter is good Ian Hunter, and this is a great discussion.
So okay, we just did the 70s. Now, remind me, I've got that Ian Hunter, Mick Ronson CD. What 89. Year was that?
89.
That was 89. So I'm assuming how many albums are in the 80s from Ian Hunter, roughly?
Short Back and Sides. All the good ones are taken. Then there's a long break, and then the Hunter Ronson album. He also did Welcome to the Club, which I think was 80, and that's about it. So there's
4 records.
Yeah, if you did the live one. There's actually a BBC Hunter Ronson, but it's live. Not many people have that. That's a rarity.
Yeah. Well, either way, we'll handle the 80s. We'll include that Ian Hunter, Mick Ronson album for next time. Anyway, everybody study up. You know what we're going to be talking about next month. So this gives you time to get ready. I want to thank the panel. I want to thank Nick. I want to thank the Parish of Rock. Go out and listen to some Ian Hunter. That's what freaking Martin says all the time. Go out and listen to some Ian Hunter. Or
I don't think I've ever
Black Sabbath or whatever. All right, cool. Gentlemen, thank you. I'll send some dates out. You know how we do it.
Yep.
Gentlemen, thank you. See you, everybody. Keep it clean.
Yeah, thanks.
All right.